working? I think I don't find that. Okay, so today I'm going to be demonstrating essentially a demo on how to make these granola bars that you guys have been working on in this class. Now, this is a really nice and simple demonstration because all of this stuff is more or less dry and we can just add it to a bowl, making this a good demonstration for simplicity purposes, okay? So what I have out here is I have what I'm going to actually pack these granola bars into. And I just have a bunch of these little things so I can actually smush them down. I have my finished product here that's kind of hiding in the wings. I also have, just for my intents and purposes, just a sheet tray that I have lined with parchment because I know I'm going to get this guy kind of sticky with our peanut butter and honey, which I'm using as our sweetener today. I have a handy dandy serrated knife because I know I'm going to use that to cut the finished product, TV magic bars over here. And bowl for mixing, of course. I have like what we call like a demo plate or a showcase plate. So I'm going to put the things on them after we have them cut in a more professional, polished way. So we have that kind of landing zone. And lastly, I'd mentioned before, 4 things that need to be washed, soiled, or something that you just want to get kind of like out of the focus of the camera and behind the eye of whomever is watching. We have a landing zone for some of that stuff right there as well. Additionally, I have a cutting board set up, and I've set this up in a way that I know I have the camera where I want it to be. I've just made adjustments prior to, starting the demonstration. And lastly, and most importantly, we have this overhead view here of all of the ingredients necessary. So I just simply followed that recipe. And I am going to be adding these to the bowl, talking through some of the points that I want to make regarding how we're making this, any nutritional value, et cetera, and so forth. So you're going to see that later in the game. I am going to chop these peanuts, part of this demo, to say like, hey, I'm going to chop these like they're a little big. We want things to be kind of like similar in size. So though like the peanuts and raisins are comparable in size, we want to just get that a little bit more chopped up. It'll make it easier to cut and eat in the future. That won't fall apart. So, all right, without further ado. So these bars were from a recipe having been found on the kitchen website, which is a website that was started from apartment therapy. So it's just kind of their like kitchen area of this. And the original recipe calls for a lot of optional ingredients, but today for our intents and purposes, I've gone with possibly the most simple one, and it's sort of like GORP adjacent and sort of like trail mixy because I've just simply used raisins and peanuts, okay? So we're going to start with our oats. So this is going to act as the base here. So these are just simply rolled oats. And though I have not toasted them, you can toast them for a more like toasty flavor. However, they are going to cook in the oven. So we're adding those to the bowl. You see what I'm doing here, probably. And similarly, we have just some like puffed Rice Krispie cereal. It doesn't have to be Rice Krispies, but something similar to this. Other items that will work would be some things like puffed millet, puffed wheat. You can find puffed quinoa out in the wild some places, but the crispy rice gives us a nice texture in there as well. Now, I'm also going to be adding raisins. These are just golden raisins because we have them lying about. And I'm just going to add a cup of those into this. And before I add these peanuts, I'm simply just going to give them a rough chop on this cutting board with my serrated knife. And by doing so, again, I'm just going to have an even distribution of these throughout the bars themselves. It's going to give them a little bit better texture, and it is going to keep them a little bit more cohesive once they're done cooking. Sometimes when you have these boulder like nuts in there, they kind of just cause the texture to fall apart a little. So we want to have it be as tight of a structure as possible for when we're cutting them later. Now you could substitute these with any kinds of nuts, walnuts, pecans. It's very choose your own adventure as long as the quantities kind of remain in ratio. Now, if you were looking to, increase, say, your omega-3 content, you could go with something like a walnut. If you were really looking to dial things in with something like selenium, you could use chopped up Brazil nuts. But we can see here, this is, though a regular, they're different. They're definitely like a little bit more chopped than they were before in their full state. So I'm just gonna empty those into our friendly little bowl here that you cannot see through. It's reminding me I need to get glass bowls for this class. Now, we have all of this, which is like essentially all of our big dry ingredients, okay? So I'm just gonna give that a quick stir, and you can see kind of the, reasonable distribution of items here. Now what we're going to do is add our more wet but solid, perhaps plasma is the correct term, ingredients, which is 3 tablespoons of Skippy peanut butter. Now, we have developed an understanding that using natural peanut butter isn't going to be as effective in this. So this actually is going to give us a better texture overall versus something like Teddy, which no shade to Teddy, that's totally great peanut butter, but for our intents and purposes, we want to make sure that we have something that's just a little bit more structurally integral for these bars. So we're going to add that in there. And though you can put this together with the honey and throw it into the microwave or certainly heat it up on the stovetop, as long as your ingredients are reasonably room temperature, which is 76 degrees Fahrenheit, they will come together a little bit, and it's just going to require a little bit more elbow grease, but they will come together, don't worry. And this is why you want to, when creating this recipe, have a bowl bigger than you think you're going to need, because the stuff is going to kind of toss itself around. Now, when things are kind of like in there, what we're going to do is add our additional seasoning. So I just have like maybe 1/8 of a teaspoon of cinnamon in here, really just a pinch. And this is very choose your own adventure. It just depends. It's just going to give it a little background flavor. A teaspoon of just good old fashioned vanilla. You can certainly use imitation vanilla, not breaking anybody's heart. We have a vanilla shortage in this world. And a good, like just a pinch of salt, which again probably equates to about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Now this can certainly be omitted. So if folks are, watching salt intake, trying to reduce overall sodium, et cetera, and so forth. However, salt is one of these amazing flavor items that just brings everything out. So even in a sweet dessert or something like this, where we're kind of focusing on more sweet than savory items, it's going to make a lot of those flavors pop. You can kind of see overhead that I'm taking the ingredients and I'm kind of just like smushing them, a technical term, together, okay? And you can start to see them kind of come together, though we do have some like pockets of dry areas. So we're just going to continue pushing these ingredients together, making sure that everything's evenly distributed to a certain degree. And you can absolutely just, gloved hands or not, our best tools are the ones we have attached to our arms, and do this with hands, not a problem. But you can start to see that that's coming together, and it's kind of, it's moving kind of slowly. The ingredients look reasonably distributed in there. So that is where we want things to be. Things are going to stick together because we're going to pop this into the oven. The honey is going to melt and congeal, and as is the peanut butter. So we have a little pan here. This is just a sheet tray that's been lined with parchment. I actually have taken 2 pieces of parchment and kind of shuffled them about to make sure that this is covering the outside. And though this looks like too much for one little pan here, we are gonna smush again. This is the land of smushing. So what's interesting about these bars, not only are they're very nutritionally dense. Again, they're kind of very trail mix adjacent. And once they're baked, they can actually hold for anywhere from probably like 3 to 4 weeks. And if you froze them, even longer, quite frankly. But these could also be altered to, again, any kind of performance you're trying to get out of them outside of just being a very tasty and nutritionally dense snack. All right, so just pop these guys up here. Now, what I like to do is, we see that this is in here, it's just kind of like in a mound. But what we're going to do is we're going to actually, again, professionally smush. So I'm going to take a pan similar size, and I am just going to simply like press this down with my weight. And we're just going to push that as much as possible into all of the corners, okay? And you'll see there's kind of this irregularity here, but you can just take the parchment and get it like really in there. There's a lot of air pockets in here. So the more these actually come together, the tighter these bars are going to be. And you certainly don't need to use the pan here, But you want to make sure that this is adequately pressed into all of these spaces. And that's going to give us a really good texture coming out of it. So though I've just kind of like done like independent pushing into these respective nooks and crannies, I'm going to go back with this as much as I can and kind of even it out for a more professional looking bar on top. So what we can see here is these guys are not coming out, right? They're stuck. Like, look at that. Ooh, almost came out because of the parchment, which is good because we're going to bake these and we want them to come out of here. So these go into a low oven for approximately, what is it? Maybe like 15, 20 minutes or so. The longer they bake, the more toasty they'll become. What's going to happen is the sugars are going to caramelize. They're going to reach a high temperature where they're going to actually change compositionally, and it's going to get much harder, similar to like if we're caramelizing sugar. So same thing is going to happen with honey. That's going to help pull everything together and keep everything as one. Okay, it's going to keep it more solid. Now, when they come out of the oven, they're going to look similar to this, okay? So you can see the difference here that we have the color difference. We have it a little bit more toasted. That's having come from our friend, again, caramelization in the Maillard reaction, which is the browning of proteins. And we're going to take these and using a serrated knife, we're just going to cut them into little bars. And you can see, even though these are kind of falling apart because they were made last week and they're a little bit on the chewier side, you can see that has a really clear cut on them. And that is in effect how we're going to be making these little bars, okay? You can go with a rocking motion here. Sometimes they fall apart. If they do end up falling apart, what you can do is simply just crush them up and they can act as a more nutritionally dense granola. No problem, right? It's like Bob Ross. If you make a mistake, it's a happy little tree now, all right? So that, in effect, is how we're creating these little granola bars. Any questions from the group? Start.